Welcome back. I'm sure at some point in their life, everyone has been accused of being a bit of an asshole. I know I have been, and I know I probably have even been a bit of an asshole, not just accused of it. Everyone's had their moment in life where they're a bit of a tit. And you look back on it and go, yeah, no, I was the asshole in that situation. So today, we're going to be deciding whether or not people are the asshole. Now, we're going straight in for the kill here with a very obvious asshole, in my opinion. Am I the asshole for telling my sister not to announce her pregnancy at my wedding because I was going to announce mine, but she did it anyway? Your sister is a devil and she deserves to die. I, 29 female, got married 3 months ago to my amazing husband, 31 male. It was supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life, but my sister, 32 female, managed to overshadow it in a way that I can't seem to move past. A little background. My husband and I had been trying for a baby for a while, and we finally got that positive test. We were over the moon. We decided we could share the news with our family and friends at our wedding reception. Nothing crazy, just a small heartfelt moment during the speeches. A little background. My husband and I had been trying for a baby for a while, and when we finally got that positive test, we were over the moon. We decided we would share the news with our family and friends at our wedding reception. Nothing crazy, just a small heartfelt moment during the speeches. Only my parents and my maid of honor knew about this plan. A few weeks before the wedding, my sister pulled me aside to tell me she was pregnant. I was genuinely happy for her, and we had a sweet moment together. Then she casually mentioned she was planning to announce it at my wedding. To casually mention like, by the way, I'm going to announce that I'm pregnant at your wedding. Not even to ask, just to announce. Like, no. Like, one, you don't do that anyway. The people that announce their pregnancies or get engaged or announce their engagements at other people's weddings are terrible people. Never do that. Never propose at someone's wedding. It's just really rude. If you think, that's something my family member or best friend wouldn't mind, you still ask. You don't automatically assume that they're going to be okay with it. You at least go, hey, look, I'm pregnant and I was wondering if maybe I could announce it at your wedding. In which case you go, fuck no, you're not doing that shit at my wedding. At least ask. You don't just assume. I was shocked and told her as kindly as I could that I would prefer that she didn't. No shit. I even explained why, because I was also pregnant and planning to share the news that day. I asked if she could wait a little longer so the day could stay focused on the wedding. She seemed a bit annoyed but didn't argue much, so I thought that was the end of it. I mean, all she's asking is maybe wait a day. Literally one day. And I'm sure she wouldn't even be that bothered. Just wait till the day after the day that's not about you. This day is about your sister. Don't make it about you. I don't understand how people fail to see why this is wrong. Well, fast forward to reception, and guess what? Right after the speeches, she stands up, clinks her glass, and announces her pregnancy. Right, we'd be having a pregnant lady brawl in the middle of the dance floor. I would be taking her to the ground, wedding dress and all, because fuck that right off. Like, there is no way in hell anyone could possibly think that's okay. One, to do it regardless is insane. But also when she's told you not to do it anyway. The whole room erupts in cheers. It's not their fault, I suppose. They probably thought it was planned. And suddenly, my wedding turns into her pregnancy celebration. I was stunned. I didn't even get the chance to share my own news because it felt like I'd be trying to one-up her. Fuck that! It's your wedding day. She tried to one-up you. I would literally be there at the speeches. She's over there announcing her pregnancy and everyone's cheering and I go, I'm pregnant too. And just steal all the glory. My fucking wedding day. And if I planned to announce my pregnancy, I would just straight up be like, that's nice, but I'm also pregnant. These people are too nice, man. At least you can both get a pregnancy celebration in. Later, when I confronted her, she acted like I was overreacting and said she couldn't keep it in anymore. What, for one more day? You could have even done it the day before if you couldn't keep it in any longer. When I told her how hurt I was, she said I was selfish for wanting to control when people shared their happiness. My parents think she was out of line, but are telling me to let it go for the sake of my family. Why do people always do that? Like, this person is in the wrong. The person who she has hurt should not have to let it go because of her selfish actions. I can't seem to move on. Every time I think about my wedding, I feel this bitter pit in my stomach because she took away a moment that was special for me. She, on the other hand, thinks I'm being dramatic and says I should be happy for her instead of making everything about myself. Am I the asshole for not letting this go? Right. So there is absolutely, I want you to listen to me right now. If by some miracle in this world, this is your post and you are watching this video, There is not a single possibility in this world that you are the asshole in this situation. Your sister is a giant. See you next Tuesday. That is so beyond the realms of not okay. It's not even funny. Not only did she decide this is a good idea, which it's not, but you explicitly told her not to do it, and then she did it anyway, and then got angry at you because you're angry at her. Absolutely not. She is a absolute giant asshole. You are not the asshole in any sense of the word. Am I the asshole for telling my boss I wasn't invited to the party? I, 26 female, just started at a new job. I quickly realized that one of my colleagues, Marie, is engaged and is getting married. It seemed like the whole office was attending the wedding. I absolutely did not expect an invite. She just met me. Weddings are planned in advance, venues booked, etc. My friends actually just got married, so I saw firsthand how this all worked. I could tell Marie was wondering if I expected an invitation and was hesitant to bring up the wedding around me, but I just never made a big deal. I didn't feel left out in the slightest. Then I got CC'd on an email from someone in the office, Joan, throwing Marie a shower during our lunch hour in the break room in a couple of weeks. Joan was sending out a collection so we could give a group gift, cash. They also suggested that we make it a potluck. Joan included her Venmo and also asked we email back with what we planned on bringing. Even if I'm not going to the wedding, I still believe everyone deserves to be celebrated, and Venmo'd the $20 as well as sent a reply saying I'd bring the lasagna. Already I don't see how they could be the asshole in this situation because they're doing the right nice thing. A little later, I saw the $20 had been returned to my Venmo and Joan approached my desk. I already feel it, Joan's the asshole here. She said I didn't need to contribute. I said, even if I'm not attending the wedding, I'd still like to give Marie a little something. Joan looked a little awkward and hummed it hard and eventually said, you're not invited to the shower. I was confused. I said, I can't go in the company break room on my lunch hour? She said, yes. And I said, where am I supposed to go? You gotta be kidding me. They said you can't come into the staff room on the lunch hour because we're all gonna have a party without you. I don't drive. I take public transport to and from work. We don't really work near anywhere I could go to quickly for our lunch hour. She said I could stay at my desk. That's fucking generous of her. I pointed out this was a little exclusionary. Joan said Marie didn't want me to assume I was invited to the wedding. She's already said a million times she does not assume she's going to be invited to the wedding. I said I don't at all. I completely understand I haven't worked here that long and we're not close enough. I'm not hurt by that. She said that's great, but I still can't come. I asked if I had done anything to offend Marie and she said no, she just doesn't want me to get my hopes up. She's already said she doesn't want to come to your fucking wedding, Marie. I finally let it go and just said, fine, have a good party. Day of the shower, I sat at my desk during the party while everyone else went eating my lunch alone. One kind person snuck me a piece of cake. I would shove that cake so far up their asses, they ain't gonna see straight for a week. Because what do you mean I have to sit at my desk while you all eat cake and lasagna and shit? Like, I don't want to come to your wedding, but like to say you have to sit at your desk while we're all in there eating yummy food and gossiping together is so fucked up. I wouldn't even want to go to the party at that point, but it's the principle of the thing. Halfway through the party, the big boss came in. She usually doesn't work on Friday, so it was a surprise to see her. She saw me sitting at my desk and asked why I wasn't at the party. I told her I hadn't been invited. She was clearly perturbed by this. Later on, she sent an email out banning parties of any kind during work hours. A few people, Joan and Marie included, realizing I'm the one that told. They're now turned on me. Some friends say I'm in the wrong here and I should have lied to the big boss and said I was busy with work to finish or something, so as not to ruin it from everyone else. Am I the asshole? Again, there is absolutely no realm in which you are the asshole here. For your friends to say that you should have lied to the boss to cover for them is also really fucked up because, like, you did nothing wrong. It's not even like you threw them under the bus. Realistically, you could have said, oh no, they're all in there having a party and they've said I'm actually not allowed to go. So I have to sit at my desk by myself because they told me that I'm not allowed in there, even though I know I'm not going to the wedding. I'm not allowed to go in the tea room. But you didn't say that. You literally just said, oh, I wasn't invited, which is the truth. All you said was exactly what happened. In fact, you almost did cover for them a little bit more than I probably would. For them to say that you should have said you were busy with work, no, because everything around it is so fucked up and exclusionary is the perfect way to describe it. You are absolutely not the asshole here. Fuck Marie, fuck Joan, and I hope Marie's wedding sucks. I hope Marie's sister announces her pregnancy at her wedding. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my mother-in-law hold my baby after she told my husband to get a paternity test? Immediately, again, absolutely not the asshole. What the hell is going on? Why do people have such demons in their lives? I, 28 female, gave birth to my first child, a beautiful baby girl, 3 weeks ago. My husband, 30 male, and I have been over the moon, but his mother has been causing non-stop drama. She never liked me from the start. She made snide comments about how I trapped her husband, even though we've been happily married for 4 years. When I got pregnant, she constantly joked about how the baby might not be his, and I brushed it off as her usual passive-aggressive behavior until I found out she took it way further. Now, immediately off the bat, unless you've been an absolute hoe bag and like sleeping around on your husband and that's just like a thing you've done, then there's absolutely no realm in which suggesting this would be okay. God, some mother-in-laws are evil. Unless, yes, she has literally been a proven cheater, then you should never ever be suggesting this in a million years. 2 days after I gave birth, my husband got a text from his mum saying you should get a DNA test. You never know these days. 2 days. Like, do you know how emotional women are after they give birth? I have never given birth. I heard it's pretty bad. So say that to a postpartum mother who is going to be like super emotional is already crazy. I was devastated when I saw it. My husband was furious and told her off, saying he had zero doubts about me and that her comment was disgusting. She tried to backtrack, saying she was just looking out for him. Okay, so by that comment, we obviously know that she is not a chronic cheater. Otherwise, the husband wouldn't be so disgusted by the comment as well. Big ups to the husband for actually standing up for his wife, because I was a bit dubious how this was going to play out for a minute there. At this point, fuck the mother-in-law. How does she have the balls to even say this shit, man? Now she wants to come over and beat the baby. Get the fuck out. As if you think you can say that shit and then come and hold my child. Ain't no way. But I told my husband she will not be holding our daughter. Stand on ground, Quinn. If she wants to question whether my child is even her grandchild, she doesn't have the privilege of bonding with her. That's actually a great point. At this point, why should she be allowed to be around the baby? Because she obviously thinks it's not even related to her anyway. If you don't think that's your grandchild, you aren't fucking coming near us. Like, period. Why would you want to come and hold a baby that you think is not your grandchild? You're being a bit two-faced here, old lady. My husband understands why I'm upset, but he thinks we should let her come just once so she doesn't play the victim with the rest of the family. No, absolutely not. We are not letting people, this is a message for all of you, we are not letting people get away with things just to keep the peace. That's how these people coast through life, thinking they can get away with this stuff because they don't get reprimanded. Now she's crying to everyone, saying I'm keeping her granddaughter from her and I'm punishing her over a harmless question. A harmless question. Insinuating that your son's wife has been sleeping around and that the baby they had 2 fucking days ago isn't even his. She thinks that's a harmless question. Get her out of my life. That is not someone you need in your life. Some family members think I'm being dramatic and should be the bigger person. Again, this is why these people think they can get away with saying stuff like this, because people are constantly being the bigger person around them and letting them get away with it. Stand up to them. Tell them that what they're saying is wrong, that it's not right. Ugh, they're never gonna stop if people keep being the bigger person. You're not being a bigger person. Newsflash, you're being a pushover. Sorry, but it's true. But why should I let someone who disrespected me and my child hold her like nothing happened? Exactly. Why should she get to hold the baby when she's spitting out that vile shit about the baby's mum? Absolutely not. Am I the asshole for letting? I think you can guess. I am firmly on the mother's side here, not the mother-in-law, the mother. Well, I wish I could say things got better, but mother-in-law made sure that didn't happen. How could it get worse? After my husband told her off, I thought she'd at least try to apologize, but instead she doubled down. She started calling my husband, telling him I was turning him against his own mother and that I was overreacting to a simple question. Again, how she thinks this is a simple question, I have no idea. She even pulled the classic victim act, crying to the rest of the family about how I was keeping her grandbaby from her. But I thought she didn't think it was her grandbaby because she thinks it's not her son's child, so therefore that's not her grandchild. So then things took a ridiculous turn. I found out from my sister-in-law that mother-in-law was actually trying to get a DNA test done behind our backs. Apparently, she was hoping to get a strand of my baby's hair and some spit to confirm the truth. And that right there is why she should not be allowed to touch that child. because she'll do this and then the kid will end up being her grandchild and she's going to stake some weird fucking claim on it. I would not be letting her come within spitting distance of my child. When my sister-in-law told me, I was absolutely done. I told my husband that until she apologizes, not a fake "I'm sorry you're mad" apology, but a real one, she is not welcome around me or my daughter. Thankfully, my husband backed me up 100%. He told his mother that if she can't respect his wife and child, then she doesn't deserve to be part of our lives. Mother-in-law lost it. She went full drama mode, telling everyone I was tearing the family apart and that she might never recover from this heartbreak. At this point, I don't even care. She disrespected me, my marriage, she disrespected my child. Actions have consequences. So yeah, mother-in-law still hasn't met the baby, and unless she does some serious apologizing and self-reflection, she won't be anytime soon. There's a few things with this one. One, of course you're not the asshole, never in a million years. Two, even if she apologized, I still wouldn't be letting her around the kid. This woman's better than me. She's saying unless she apologizes like with a good apology, then she's not coming around it. Fuck that shit. Like, what else is she gonna spew? Like, what is she gonna tell this kid when it's older? Like, that's not your daddy. Like, your mom's a cheating whore. No, she's not. No. Like, she's gonna try and turn that kid against you. I can feel it. Also, three, her trying to say that the mother of the child is trying to tear the family apart when she's the one asking her harmless questions is bizarre. This mother-in-law is crazy. She's probably in love with her son, and this whole thing is just gross. I hate it all. Am I the asshole after being upset with my wife after she was spraying her breast milk directly out of her breast in front of her brother-in-law? Look, I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of an iconic party trick. I kind of rate her for it, but like I can see why this would cause some issues. I spent the whole day at the doctor's with our daughter for a head injury checkup. When we finally finished after a couple of hours, I walk in the house and my wife has one of her breasts out on full display trying to express into a bottle. I don't have a problem with public breastfeeding, but if you're expressing, surely you can do it in the privacy of a bedroom. She was in the lounge with her sister and her sister's boyfriend and calls to put the sister to looks. I don't understand. What? She calls out to the sister to look and start spraying it around and laughing. I think that's what they meant. I yelled out to her and just told her that I couldn't believe she would do that and walked away. I still haven't talked to her since then. My stomach feels like there is a massive knot in it and I'm really pissed she would ever do this in front of him. Am I overreacting or is this a valid reaction? This is low-key kind of funny. I totally understand why he's pissed that she's just like, she's not breastfeeding. She is essentially just like kind of got her boobs out. It's like, psh. But at the same time, it's low-key kind of funny. I think he should say like, look, I'm not comfortable with you having your boobs out around your sister's boyfriend, but also, can you do it again? That was kind of funny. Turns out I'm kind of the weird one because everyone in the comments is saying that's really gross and that she's the asshole and that spraying it around and laughing is super weird. I personally think that's kind of hilarious. Should be done probably more privately, but it's kind of funny. Apparently, I am definitely the weird one in this situation because no one else seems to think it's as funny as I do. Now, this one's quite a long one, so you're going to have to bear with me, but it sounds juicy. Am I the asshole for refusing to have another child after my husband said our daughter isn't his spiritual child? What the fuck is a spiritual child? If it's yours biologically, what do you mean spiritually? Maybe this is what the mother-in-law meant in the other one, that she just thinks like biologically the kid was his, but it wasn't his spiritual child. For context, me, 33 female, and my husband, Stephen, 40 male, have been together for 15 years, married for 12 years. We had our daughter Peyton, 14, a year into our relationship. Please tell me he's not trying to say that his 14-year-old daughter isn't his spiritual child. I thought it was going to be a baby that just come out the womb that doesn't know that her dad has rejected her. At 14, this could really fuck you up that your dad thinks, I know that you're biologically mine, but spiritually we just don't connect. Like, I just don't love you the way I should. Where do people find these demons? Our relationship has been happy except for a few arguments and some things I noticed recently that made me consider being with him. When we had our daughter, we were both over the moon. He was an amazing father and an amazing husband. In his free time, he would always want to spend time with Peyton, and he made lots of effort to be as involved as possible. They were definitely very close, or were, because after these events, Peyton has shown disinterest in hanging out with Stephen. No shit! Her dad doesn't think he's spiritually connected to her or some other weird hippie shit. A couple of weeks ago, Peyton came to us and told us she was dating a girl. Oh, don't tell me this is homophobic, because if it is, I'm gonna get even more mad at fucking Stephen. Initially, Stephen and I were both very supportive and let her know that we loved her no matter what, as you should, it's your child. Last weekend, she went to visit her aunt and uncle who were staying with my mother-in-law for a week. Aunt and uncle have a child, 12 female, who's close with Peyton. Mother-in-law is strongly religious. No. Suddenly I get a call from mother-in-law demanding that I collect Peyton from her house, and in her words, how dare I allow her near her cousin while she is swerving away from the path of God. Immediately, my heart is breaking for Peyton. Her dad thinks is not her spiritually or some shit, which I still don't know what that means. The mother-in-law's saying she's evil just because she likes girls. She's not allowed to see her cousins. Like, this girl's 14 years old and her family are ganging up on her, man. In my mother-in-law's eyes, apparently Peyton was influencing her cousin to be gay. Let me put it out there that me and my husband have never put any religious beliefs upon our child or let religion dictate the way we raised our child. My husband has told me in the past that he doesn't agree with a lot of religious beliefs and practices, but he still says he's religious. Now, in this case, I don't think it's so much a matter of religion. I think it's a matter of bigotry and using religion as a way to not be attacked for your bigotry. So fuck the mother-in-law, basically. That seems to be a running theme for this video. Fuck all the mother-in-laws. And him saying he's religious, that's fine. Religion should be about peace and acceptance and things like that. Not using religion as a way to hate on other people and, you know, you can't be reprimanded for it because it's just like your religious beliefs. Like, you're still a bad person. Peyton was obviously upset and I was fuming. My husband was at work, so I went to collect Peyton from mother-in-law's house. When I got home, I comforted Peyton because she was in floods of tears saying she doesn't like mother-in-law. Now, this girl should never have to see her mother-in-law again if she doesn't want to, because that's really fucked up thing to do to a 14-year-old girl. She told me that her cousin and her were talking about crushes and other girl things and went on to say that mother-in-law stormed in and started yelling about how Peyton was disrespectful and told her cousin not to go near Peyton because she's contagious. What the fuck? She's literally treating her like a leper, like a pariah. Mother-in-law should never be let near her grandchild again. When Stephen came home, he instantly asked Peyton what was wrong and he comforted her too and apologized for mother-in-law's behavior. Stephen and I discussed how to proceed from here and eventually decided to cut ties with mother-in-law due to her behavior causing so much stress for Peyton. We both made the decision and I asked him if he was okay with cutting the ties with his mother, to which he replied that he was and he would do anything for Peyton. Where is the she's not spiritually his child coming into this? Because so far, Dad's been okay. He's done the right things. I thought things would end with mother-in-law there, but it's gotten progressively worse. Stephen has tried several times this week to initiate sex, and I've politely told him no, as I've not really been in the mood. He got upset when I said no, so in the end, I just let him. But he doesn't usually get upset anymore after being told no. As well as this, he also tried to initiate more than usual this week, and I was confused as to why, because he was being distant with Peyton too. So I asked him about it, and he was dismissing my concerns at first, but eventually confessed that he wanted another child because he believes Peyton isn't his child spiritually. When I asked him what he meant, he confided that he had been talking to mother-in-law for a couple of days and had come to the realization that God wouldn't gift him a child that would upset his mother. What the fuck is with these boy mums? Why are they so in love with their sons? This is fucking obsessive and weird and gross. Oh, I don't even have the words. He wanted to try for another child, even going as far to admit he was thinking about poking holes in condoms. Isn't that sexual assault? And going down on me while I slept to force me into pregnancy. I'm 99% sure that 99.999% sure that one's sexual assault. Luckily, he didn't do either of those things, but I snapped at this confession and refused to talk to him for a few days. A few days? I'll be refusing to talk to him for the rest of my life. He begged me to forgive him and he's begging me to rethink, saying that he desperately wants a grandchild to carry on his last name and would do anything to have another child with me. Just because your daughter's a lesbian doesn't mean she's not going to have kids, mate. I asked him what Peyton is to him and he said that she is his biological daughter but not his spiritual daughter, and that didn't mean anything to him. So now, because she's gay, she means nothing to him because his mum doesn't like her. It's essentially what he's saying, because he couldn't like a kid that his mum doesn't like. I was shocked that my husband, who has shown nothing but love for our daughter, could say this. Honestly, I'm repulsed by his behavior, and I've taken Peyton to stay with my parents while we figure things out. Poor Peyton. All I get from this is poor Peyton. She is going through the fucking ringer her dad's disowned her. Her mother-in-law's an asshole. Her cousin might think her gayness is contagious. They're going to stay with their parents while they figure it out. They should stay with their parents indefinitely. This girl should never have to be around her dad or her dad's side of the family ever again. I don't know if this is worth salvaging or if I should continue to be with him after this at all. He has never behaved this way about this or agreed with his mother's beliefs openly. Sounds like he's been agreeing with his mother's beliefs for a while, but he's just not been quite open about it. I also thought we had come to an agreement, but I guess not. Right now, after speaking to several friends and family members, I realized it might be best if I divorce him because I can't guarantee my daughter's safety around him. But a part of me feels like I should at least get in contact with him again and try to work things out before throwing away 15 years of a relationship and potentially ruining my daughter's relationship with his family. Is this the kind of family you want your daughter having a relationship with anyway? Because at this point, I'd be looking at that going, I don't want my daughter around these people that make her feel bad about herself. I feel like I might be the asshole because I could be dismissing his beliefs and values by refusing to have another child or divorcing him. If you don't want another child, you don't have to have another child. He already treats the child you've got like shit. Why would you have another one? But his beliefs are affecting our daughter and I can't ignore that. I also could be ruining our daughter's relationships if I divorce him and cut ties with his family, but including his family in our lives could affect my daughter's mental health. No, at this point, you absolutely cut all ties with him and his family and you say to them and the daughter, if she wants to ever have a relationship with her father or her father's side of the family again, then that's fine and you will help her. But unless she wants it, then they are not to contact her and that she doesn't have to have a relationship with them unless she wants one. Edit, I am going to divorce him. Thank the fucking Lord. That is the only outcome that should come out of this is she divorces him. Like, I know it can be hard with courts and things with like mandated custody agreements and things like that. Like, the daughter might have to see her dad. But if the dad has any small amount of love for his daughter, he'll respect that she needs time to process this. But at the same time, she's not spiritually his anyway. He's probably not even going to care if she doesn't want to see him, as sad as that is. But it's probably going to be the better outcome for her long term. That whole situation is just really sad. I am 21 male and I think I cheated and messed up big time. For 2 years, I have always been loyal. Never looked at anyone else, never even thought of doing something like this. But something happened and as I write this, my hands are literally shaking. I don't know how to process. A couple of days back, I went to my barber shop. My regular guy, the one who's been cutting my hair for the past 2 years, wasn't around. Okay, I think I might know where this is going. He was a little away, busy with something. Another guy waved at me and said, "Come, sit." I should have waited. I should have given it second thought, but I didn't. Without thinking, I sat down and he started cutting my hair. You didn't. 10 minutes later, my guy walked in. We had a crazy eye contact moment. I could see in his face the disappointment, the betrayal. No. This one might actually be the worst of the day. You probably deserve to be burnt at the stake at this point. How could you cheat on your barber? It's the only thing worse than cheating on your spouse is cheating on your barber. What are you doing? How can you... One, this man can never trust you again. And how could you ever trust him to cut your hair when you've betrayed him in such a massive way? This is the worst one of the lot. I can't get behind this one. I really can't. It was a bit of a different one today, but if you like this kind of content, then be sure to leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already subscribed, then I don't know why you haven't, but hit that button right now. The content, as messy as it is right now, I promise it's only going to get better from here. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next few days and bye.